Welcome to MaxiFi. I'm Ed O'Connor-Giles, CTO for MaxiFi, and in this video I'm just going to take a brief look at getting started and entering your information. We're first going to ask you for some basic information about your family, enter your financial details, and then you'll be able to run your first financial plan. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here in this video. I just want to show you a couple tips for how to get started with this. We do have other videos that go into much more depth on this process. So right now I'm just going to breeze through and just set up a very simple family with just one person in it, and I click continue here, and that's really it for setting up my basic family. Now you can see that we have this kind of walkthrough wizard interface that walks you through each step of entering in your information. We're going to start with your current future earnings from jobs, pensions, annuities, and that's kind of that first section of income and expenses. Then we'll ask you some questions about housing and real estate. Then we'll gather some information about financial assets like retirement accounts and other assets. And then you're going to be able to run your plan. And so you can walk through this, but let's say you got a couple steps in here and realize, you know what, I don't have information about my current annuities. I don't have enough detail. I need to come back to that. You have a couple of options. First is, on every screen within, you can click not applicable if something doesn't apply. Let's say you don't, well, if you don't have a current job, you can say not applicable on that. Same thing for pensions or annuities or any of these steps. You can also say, it's applicable, but skip for now. I don't have the information right now. I'm going to have to get back on that one. Just click applicable, but skip for now. That allows you to move on to the next step so that you can kind of walk through this whole setup. And I'd encourage you to do that. Also notice that there's a screen guide on almost every screen here that will give you some tips for this particular screen, some key concepts to think about, tips for entering your data. So that can be really helpful as well. But let's say you just ran out of time, don't have time to walk through the whole process. Don't worry, you'll be able to enter this in at any point. You can exit setup at any point in the process. And once you've done that, once you kind of been through that setup flow once or skip out of it, this will be your home screen every time you come back now into MaxiFi. You're going to get your family overview screen, which is going to start always with your base profile, and we'll get into alternative profiles in a different video, but your base profile is where you set up your all your financial data, and it's the exact same stuff that we were walking through on that wizard. It's just now you have access. You can kind of jump around and do things at your own pace, and as you have information available. So we can get back to current and future earnings. We can get back to pensions, all that information that was in there. Now, a couple tips here. If you do decide that, let's say, not applicable, I don't have any pensions, or you did that in the setup and realized, oh, I made a mistake, I actually do have a pension. Not a problem. You can easily get back to it. What you're going to see is on the screen when you're looking at yourself or your household or whatever it is, wherever it is that you kind of skipped that step, you can go down to this dismissed items box here and just restore. So here's my pensions. I didn't mean to actually dismiss that. I can restore that, and now here's my pensions information, and I can start entering all that data. And so again, this family overview, you're going to see that a lot. You're going to see that every time you come back into the program. You can always get back there by clicking on your family button. This allows you to edit your data, change your information as needed. Once you create your base profile and run your plan, you're going to see that you then have access to alternative profiles, which allow you to try out different scenarios. And you're also going to be able to run reports. Now, the first time you go to run reports, you're only going to see your base plan, because we want to make sure that you get a solid base plan, that you can run that first. Once you build your base plan and you're comfortable with that, you'll then be able to move on to some of our other more advanced reports, being able to maximize, being able to optimize Roth conversions, do some of our Monte Carlo investing and risk analysis reports. So that's all once you've completed your base profile and run your base plan. I hope that gives you a good quick overview of how to get started with MaxiFi. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you do run into any speed bumps along the way. We're here to help.